Princella arrived at her house. She opened the door and froze. There were shoes she didn't recognize lined up near the entrance, and voices she had never heard, coming from the living room. When she walked in, her sister's in-law was sitting comfortably on her sofa, watching television like they had lived there for years. Her mother-in-law turned to her, completely calm, and said, "Oh, you must be the tenant Angela told us about." Princella did not know what to say. "Tenant? This is my house. I've worked for years to purchase, saving every little dollar, sacrificing every weekend." Her sister Angela came rushing out from the kitchen with a nervous smile. "Princella, you are back," she said, trying to sound casual. Princella's chest tightened, but she kept her voice steady. "Why are they here?" she asked, looking around at her furniture, her pictures, her home. Everything suddenly felt stolen. Angela brushed it off as if it's nothing. They just needed a place to stay for a while. "You weren't using the house." Her words hit Princella like a slap. "I let you stay here while I was away for work. I trusted you. And now you have moved your husband's parents into my home without informing me." Angela's husband, David, stepped forward and said, "We're family. Princella, you should be happy we are keeping the house clean for you." His tone sounded like Princella is ungrateful. She wanted to shout, but instead just looked around quietly. Her family photos were not on the wall, rather replaced with theirs. Her mother's old vase, the one she kept safely in the corner, was now filled with fake flowers. Princella told them calmly to excuse her. She went outside, her hands shaking not from anger, but from hurt. She has always been there for her sister Angela. She supported her marriage dresses and money. She sends her money often for bills, and this is her reward. That night Princella stayed in her car outside her own house. The lights were on throughout the night, excitements and loud laughter. She did not sleep at all. She kept staring at the house, remembering every hour she had worked to afford it. Every night shift, every skipped meal, every dream that kept her going. And now here she is, and strangers occupied her house, with no respect for her. In that quiet night, she made a promise to herself that she won't fight, but rather take her time to move them out of the house and find her peace. Princella started working right after college because she has no one to rely on. After losing her parents, it was just herself and Angela, her sister. Princella grew up to be a nurse, but also works as a night waitress at a small diner downtown. It wasn't easy for her, but she strived just to have a home for herself. She didn't want luxury, but a place to have her peace of mind. Somewhere she could walk in, lock the door, and feel safe. Years went by with little sleep, sore feet, and tired eyes. But she kept pushing, cut every unnecessary expense. No vacations, no new clothes, no fancy dinners. Her life was simple. Work, save, and dream. When she finally bought the house, she cried standing in the empty living room. The walls were plain, but it was perfect to her. She called it heaven. It wasn't just a house, but a proof that all those years of sacrifice were not in vain. Angela was so proud at first. She told everyone her sister made it on her own. She comes every year and helps plant flowers in the backyard, and also talks about how she wanted to build a life hers someday. Princella believed when her sister said she inspired her. Angela used to say she's her role model. Princella would reply with a smile and tell her, "One day, you will find your own way, too." At that time Angela was living in a rented apartment with her husband. Their relationship was always rocky. He couldn't hold down a job, and she always gave excuses for him. Princella tried to help them, sending money for them to start a business, sometimes paying their bills, Princella didn't mind because she's her only sister. After years of struggling, Princella felt her life was settling. She had a stable career, a home she loved, and a quiet routine that made her feel proud. Every evening after work, she sit by the window with a cup of tea, watching the sun go down over the neighborhood. For the first time in her life, she felt calm. She did not know that the same person who once helped her water the flowers in her house would turn her dreams into hers. My house, my hard work, and my symbol of peace. She has no idea how quickly that peace would be taken from her. One rainy evening, my sister Angela called me on the phone, crying before she said a word. My heart immediately sank. She told me, David, her husband, has lost his job again, and they are struggling to survive, and their landlord has also given them notice because the rent is due. I sat in silence for a moment, trying to think clearly. I'm living in abroad because of job, and don't have plans of returning back home anytime soon. My house would be empty for some time. It makes sense in a way to let her stay temporary. But something inside me hesitated. I have worked so hard to acquire that house and like to keep it private. Still, she is my only sister, so I strive to gather some money for their rent and upkeep. I could hear David in the background saying, "Tell her we are so much grateful and God bless her in abundant." She thanked me over and over, saying I'm her angel and wouldn't know what to do without me. I believed her gratitude was real. I wanted to think if I'm doing the right thing. Before I left back to the States, she always spends the weekend cleaning the house, organizing every room, and making sure everything is in order. I trusted her enough to give her some of the keys. When I handed her the keys, she hugged me tightly and whispered, "Thank you, sister, you will never regret this." I smiled and told her, "Just take care of the place." As my taxi drove away that morning to the airport, I looked back at the haven. It gave me a strange mix of comfort and worry. I wanted to believe everything would be fine. Angela is my sister, and family takes care of each other. Or so I thought. I didn't know then that the favor I gave out of love would become the biggest mistake of my life. Sometimes the people you trust can fail you. It's been 4 years already and abroad, and I decided to visit. I didn't tell Angela I was coming home. I thought it would be a nice surprise. Maybe cook dinner together, catch up, and see how she was doing. I really missed home, my bed, and the feel of the house. I couldn't wait to enjoy the haven and feel the peace of my hard-earned. When I arrived at the house, I noticed something strange. My car that I've locked in the garage was parked outside the house. For a moment, I thought Angela might be having a problem, but something in chest felt uneasy. I got out of the taxi and walked to the door and used my key. It didn't fit. I tried again, thinking maybe I was just nervous. But the lock has been changed. My heart dropped. I knocked, and a woman I have never since before opened the door. She looked to be in her early 60s, dressed comfortable, holding a mug of coffee like she's the owner of the house. She stared at me and said, "Can I help you?" I blinked, completely confused. "I live here," I said softly. She frowned. "Oh, you must be the new tenant to live in the boys' quarters. Angela mentioned that to us." Her words echoed in my ears. Tenant to live in my quarters? I couldn't move for a few seconds. I looked past her and saw my living room, but it doesn't look like mine anymore. My furniture messed up, my wall pictures were no more, and someone's family photos hung in their place. Before I could speak, Angela came rushing out of the kitchen, her face pale. "Princella, I didn't know you were coming back home," she said quickly, forcing a smile. I looked at her completely stunned. "Who are these people?" I asked. She hesitated, glancing at the woman behind me. "David's parents. They needed a place for a while," she said. "It's just temporary." I stepped inside slowly, my chest tightening. "You changed the locks," I whispered. Angela avoided my eyes. We just thought it would be easier for everyone. Everyone. I interrupted. My voice cracked. I looked around again, trying to find some things that still felt like mine. But nothing did. My plant were gone. The scent of my vanilla candles has vanished. The whole room smelled like fried food. Even my bedroom door was wide open, and I could see suitcases on my bed. David came in a moment later, acting like I am a senseless being. You weren't using the house. Princella, we just made it comfortable for the family. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. I thought it was a dream, or perhaps I'm going insane. So all I could do is stand steady, feeling every bit of trust one had crumbled inside me. I opened my home out of love and in the name of sister, and they had turned it into their property. That day something inside me broke, not because they took my home, but because they took my peace and treated it like it was nothing, and I never exited or alive. People you helped the most are the ones who teaches you what betrayal truly feels like. That night, I couldn't leave things the way they were. My house no longer felt like mine, and I needed answers. I sat outside, and Angela finally walked to me. She looked startled to see me sitting there. She gave me a weak smile and said softly, "Please come inside." I looked at her for a moment before asking, "Why did you do this to me?" She sighed and leaned against the balustrade. They just needed a place for a little while. I tried to stay calm, but my voice trembled. The big deal is that this is my home. I worked years for it. I trusted you to take care of it, not hand it over to your in-laws. Do you know what that means? You practical want me dead. Even I'm alive, and you gave my home out to strangers. Angela smiled nervously and said, "You're overreacting. They're not strangers. They're family too. You've always said family comes first." Princella shook her head. Family doesn't mean moving into someone's home without asking. You changed the locks. Angela, you replaced my things. You didn't even tell me what was happening. Just then David came out. His voice was sharp. "What is going on?" he asked, glaring at Princella as if she's an intruder. Princella turned to him and said, "I want my house back. You and your parents need to leave immediately." He crossed his arms and smirked. "You think you can just throw us out of the house? We have nowhere to go. You are being selfish. Princella, you have a lot of money and a good job. Let us stay. You can easily buy or build another house." His words made her blood boiled. She stared at him in disbelief. "Selfish? Did you just open your mouth and tell me that rubbish? I sent you money for your house rent and upkeeps. I paid your bills and I asked for nothing in return. And this is how you repay me." Angela reached out like she was trying to calm her down, saying our in-laws are old. They just need stability for a while. "No, Angela. What they need is not my problem. What I need is respect, and you've lost mine. Your husband has no single respect for me." The place went silent. David muttered something under his breath and walked away, leaving Angela standing there, her eyes wet, but still defiant. "I can't believe you did this to me," Princella said quietly. "I trusted you, because you're my sister. I thought that meant something." Angela didn't respond. She just looked down at the floor. For the first time, her sister saw guilt in her eyes, but not enough to make her undo what she had done. That night, Princella couldn't sleep. She sat in her car again after many years, watching the lights through the window. They laughed inside while the owner of the house stayed in the dark outside. And that was the moment she realized love wasn't enough anymore. The next morning, I waked up with swollen eyes and a clear mind. I have spent the whole night thinking about what to do. Yelling won't solve anything. They had already shown me they didn't care about my feelings or my safety. I have to plan wisely and take a smart action to get my home back, not loud or with fight, but to bring in the police secretly. I walked inside that morning. Angela acted like nothing had happened. She offered me coffee, pretending everything was normal. I accepted it, keeping my expression calm. She seemed relieved that I wasn't arguing anymore. That's when I realized letting her believe I'm calm would be the first step of my plan, so they don't poison or secretly kill me in my own house. I looked around the house one more time. Everything completely out of place. There are things scattered everywhere. It hurts, but I kept a straight face. I told Angela I won't stay for long and will be going back to the States. Her face brightened up instantly. "Really? That's great," she said, trying to sound supportive, but clearly relieved. I nodded and smiled. "Yeah, it's a long one, perhaps 6 years. Then after I will be planning to come back home to stay permanently. You guys can stay for a while and keep finding your own place. Just keep taking care of this place if I'm out of town." My stomach turned just saying those words, but it was all part of the plan. If I showed anger, she will be defensive. If I act calm, she will stay careless. That day I went to my lawyer and explained everything. Every payment, every utility bills, all documents was under my name. My sister and her husband has no legal claim to the house. They were just intruders. The lawyer listened carefully and told me I have full right to take action whenever I wanted. That reassurance gave me strength. I started preparing quietly to change the passwords for the smart home system, the locks, security cameras, etc. I didn't touch anything yet. I just made sure I have control over the house. Then I called my bank and confirmed all mortgage records were secure. Slowly, I began taking my life back piece by piece. Angela had no idea. She thought she had me figured out, the quiet, forgiving sister who always put family first. She didn't notice that I have stopped leaving personal things in the house. I rented a place for 1 month to stay. So every visit, I will quickly pack a few items into my car. Old photo albums, jewelries, and important documents. Meanwhile, David, my sister's husband, was busy visiting shrine, so that I will leave my hard-earned property for him to enjoy with his family. Thank you for watching this touching story. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and leave your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you never miss another inspiring story. Stay kind and see you next time.